Hello my friends from the YouTube, Survive with Knife here, and today I'm bringing you another knife review. Today I'm showing you the excellent Becker K-Bar ESEE Eskabar BK14. Holy cow, that's a long name. Well, that is because this knife is a collaboration of several knife makers, and that is Ethan Becker, hence Becker, K-Bar, ESEE, formerly known as, I believe, Randall's Adventure Training or Rat Cutlery, ESEE Eskabar collaboration. So this is the knife. Now I've had this knife for wow, I think about 6 to 8 months. And when I originally got this knife, I was not as enamored with it as I am today. The knife originally came coated with a black paint finish, which I stripped off with paint stripper. But I didn't do that until recently, about a month or a little bit over a month ago. The knife from the factory did not come as sharp as you would like it, I guess, and so what I've done is I've stripped the paint off of it and I've put my own edge on it, and I've really, since doing some work on it, have really come to really love this knife. And so let's just get into the review before I get distracted here. Let's start off with the handle material. The scales on this knife do not come with the knife. They're a separate purchase for about $13 to $15. The set of scales that you can order separately are both black or this high visibility orange, which actually would look really good. And I need to try that yet, but I have not tried the orange scales yet. But it's just a plastic scale, but it is much more comfortable than the way I originally used this knife. Was I just wrapped the handle in paracord, and it wasn't comfortable for long-term use. And so it was probably one of the other reasons I didn't really like the knife as much. But since getting these scales, I have to say the handle is really comfortable, and you can use it for quite a while and not get any hot spots or fatigue. There is no jimping on this knife. The back of the spine is completely free of jimping. The blade steel is 1095 Crovan, an excellent high carbon non-stainless steel. Takes an excellent edge if you work on it a little bit. From the factory, the edge was not very good, but with some work I've managed to put a really good edge on it. It is shaving hair sharp and does maintain its edge pretty well. I would say probably average. Let's take a look at the edge right now. Let's grab some piece of paper there. Look at that. So, see if I can do a better job than that. Oh, there's a little bit of a, there is a little bit of a catch on the blade. There is a little chip that I have not managed to get out. So if I do catch that, it does tear a little bit. But the edge is actually very sharp and can shave hair quite well. If you notice there, it literally just shaved that completely. Completely took all the hair right off. So that is a very good edge. Very happy with it now that I've put that edge on it. And let's get all that paper out of there. So not very happy with the factory edge, but since stripping the paint off of it, the paint is going to add some resistance to slicing and cutting tasks. So I don't really like a painted blade, especially a small blade. Maybe a larger survival knife if it is a high carbon steel having a coated blade, I don't really mind it. But for a knife this size, designed to do small tasks, small carving tasks, paint is really just going to get in the way. Since doing this thing is an excellent little feather stick maker, little carver, notching. It just does all those tasks very, very well. Food prep. Usually I like to use stainless steel knives for food prep, but I do use this one for food prep also. Since it is a high carbon steel, you are, especially in high humidity environments, you're going to need to watch it. And you're going to need to take care of the blade. Keep a light coating of oil over it. If you're going to use it for food prep, I would put a vegetable or olive oil on it. But if you're just going to use it for outdoor bush crafting type tasks, you could just put a light coat of rem oil or something whenever you store it. And that's what I do with this. Since I have stripped it off, there a little bit of rust has developed along the top, which I've actually taken off using about a 900 grit sandpaper. I believe the blade though looks very beautiful with the paint stripped off of it, kind of a stone wash finish on it without the paint. And since it has been off, it's developed a little bit of a patina there. It's darkened up just a little bit. I may at some point actually put a forced patina on this knife. Probably not. I think a patina is a little overrated. I don't know that it really does prevent rust resistance. I'm not convinced of that. I think it does more rust masking than rust resistance, but it might provide a little bit. But I don't know. I just like the way it looks now, and I don't think I'm going to be changing it. So the blade shape, it's considered a drop point knife, lined up pretty well with the handle. You could use this knife for grilling type tasks. Pretty well. You could also take the scales off and lash it easily with the skeletonized handle that's underneath there. Let me show you that skeletonized handle. This is what it actually looks like underneath the scales. I'm not going to take the scales off because of the fact that I have a lanyard through it. If it wouldn't be for the fact that I have a lanyard through it, I would take the scales off and show that to you. But so it is full tang, but obviously is skeletonized in there. The knife weight comes in just around 3 ounces, maybe just a little over. So that is, however, the knife without the scales. The scales are going to add a little bit of weight. I would say probably, add maybe half an ounce to an ounce to the knife. So this might come out to about 4 ounces once you put the scales on it, if you decide to do that. I would recommend it myself. I really like the knife with the scales. It's really improved the ergonomics of it and the comfort of just using the knife. And I think also just visually, I think it looks better with the scales. That comes down to ergonomics, like I said. With the scales, I really do like it. I like the feel of it. But without the scales, not so much. The sheath is just a plastic sheath. I designed this for neck carry. That's really what it's designed for. This is a neck knife. This black paracord came with the knife, so I just used that. I just did a twist braiding since there was a lot of excessive paracord, and it never hurts to have extra paracord around. So the lanyard was something that I made, did not come with the knife, so just to be clear on that. The knife roll, I guess this could be a tactical self-defense knife, especially if you left the scales off of it. It would be a low profile underneath your shirt, and I've actually carried this knife in public underneath my shirt, usually when I was going outdoors or camping or something like that. But you could use that knife in that type, and I think it would excel. Actually, I think I skipped over it, but the blade length on this knife is 3 1/4. The thickness is somewhere between a 3/30 or a 3/16 and a 5/32. Actually, on their website, I think they, I forget the width, but it was somewhere between So it has some good weight there. You could use it for splitting kindling. So it's a good strong piece of 1095 steel there. Overall length is 7 inches. The steel does have a Rockwell hardness of 56 to 58. So in a survival role, I think batoning, at least small kindling, would actually, and has worked very well for me in that role. Not really brush clearing or shelter building. It's just really too small for that, but is a great accompaniment to a larger knife. Let's say this is the Blind Horse PSK1. This would be a great accompaniment to that knife. Food preparation, it'll do. The blade is not too thick for that. However, I do myself personally prefer stainless steel for food prep, but it could also serve in that role. Hunting knife, I think this would work great. It has that drop point blade, which I like better for gut hooking and things like that, for skinning game. You can really choke up here on the knife. It's got enough blade right here to hold on to for getting in there and skinning tasks. So I think this knife would actually do really well with processing game. Now, since it is a high carbon steel, you do want to make sure you clean off the knife afterwards so that it doesn't rust. But it would serve well in that role. Utility knife. Yeah, I think it would also serve well in a utility role if you wanted to use it like that. For me, this is an outdoor knife though, and not really a utility knife. The price of the knife. You can pick this knife up from anywhere from about $33 to $40. I think I picked mine up for around $35. And then the handle scales, if you throw that on top of it, another $15. And then if you're going to strip the paint off like I did, you're going to have to buy some more stuff. So overall into this knife, I probably have around $50 into the knife. But I think it's well worth it. I really like the knife. I think it does have kind of a cool factor, especially if you work on it a little bit. I think it looks a lot better now that I've stripped the paint and added a lanyard and put a really good edge on there. It's working pretty well. So okay, well there you guys go. That's the Becker BK14. Let me know what you guys think. Favorite and subscribe. And we'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Survive with Knife out.